What's up, everybody? This is Marcy with the One-on-One Boxing Podcast. You already know I got my boy Reef with me, and we got a special one for y'all today. We got pro fighter, one of the hottest trainers in Philly. He got his own show, GHBTV. We got Greg Hackett with us today. Greg, what's up, brother?
What's going on, fellas? I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you for coming on. To start off, can you just start us off with what got you into boxing? Like, why boxing? What led you there?
I mean, when I was a kid, I was just getting in fights all the time. My mom thought I had like an anger problem or something. And she was like, bro, you need to get to the gym. You know what I mean? That's where you need to be since you got all that anger. You know what I mean? Get in there and fight. So I went in the gym when I was about 12 years old. I started competing at 15 and, it's just been in love with it.
And we grew up from, what part of the city you from?
Well, I'm really originally, you could say Germantown, you could say North Philly, you know what I mean, back and forth.
Okay, what part of Germantown?
Near Germantown, Shelton, Germantown, Musgrave. I mean, Shelton and Musgrave.
Okay.
I'm up that way.
Okay.
Yeah, I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you said you had a trainer named Kevin Carmody, and you said he taught you the sweet science, but he didn't really love boxing.
Yeah.
But like, at what age did you realize like you really loved this shit? Like, was it a certain moment? Was it a fight that you watched?
I think when I walked in the gym and I saw blood on the mat, and I asked, was that somebody's blood? And it was like, yeah. That's when I fell in love, because I knew, I'm like, yo, you could damn near kill somebody in here and get away with it. You know what I mean? So it made sense to me.
So as far as like I see you training, like as far as training and everything going, I see you got relationship with people in the city as far as like boots. Can you speaking of relationship with Jesse Hart?
Jesse Hart is that's like my brother, man. It's crazy because his first fight was my first fight. The same amateurs when we was amateurs. He was like 12 and I was 15. And then later on we fought each other. And then later on I ended up training him. You know what I mean? So that's like my brother for real.
And that's your you still train him current to this day?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then just to throw something out there, I keep seeing little things with him and Benavidez, man. Is we gonna get that or that's just media talk?
I don't know, man. A lot of people, I don't know what it is about Jesse. I think I have an idea. But to me, Jesse is the real boogeyman at 68 and 75. Because it's amazing to me how all these guys could just call themselves stars or call themselves champions without fighting a Jesse Hart. I mean, Jesse got 3 losses, but he never been knocked out. And he fought 2 of the best in the business. You know what I mean? Being Joe Smith and Zerto Ramirez. That's crazy. It's just crazy. I don't know. Yeah, sure. I hope you get a big one soon.
So when you scouting like opposing fighters, whether it's for yourself or for somebody you're training, how long does it take you to figure them out? Are you like a slow processor, a quick processor? Do you download the data?
Well, it's just like watching a good movie. You're going to catch something every time. You ever watch a movie and be like, damn, I didn't see that the first time. And then you watch it again. Damn, I didn't see that the second time. You know what I mean? It's the same way when you're breaking down a fighter. The more you watch them, the more you see. But at the same time, it's not good to watch them too much, because then you might get stuck on something. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be stuck on one thing when you watch a guy.
For sure. I see you got 2 sons. Neither one of your sons box. Like you ain't want to introduce neither one of your sons to boxing?
Yeah, my oldest son, he had a few fights as an amateur, but he fell in love with football once he got with football.
Okay.
And my youngest son, he never lived with me, so he always played basketball and football. But they both been in the ring before. They know what it's like, for sure.
All right, that's what's up. Your relationship with Bozy and Boots, is that a Germantown connection or is that a boxing connection? Like, how did that connection come about?
Well, I mean, of course, if you in Germantown and you in the gym, you're going to have to run into Bozy at some point. I mean, because Bozy always had a squad. Bozy always had a team. So whenever you needed that good work, you got to go see Bozy.
Okay.
And then can you share some of the things that being around Bozy taught you as a fighter or as a trainer, either or?
I mean, as a trainer, he one of the most consistent I've seen, because you got to look at it. He's 69 years old right now. He's still in the gym. So back when I was rolling, when I was a young kid, I mean, we talking about that's maybe what, 20, 30, 20 something years ago. And he's still in the gym. So at that time, he was in his 40s. And he's still bumping. So if the number one thing I learned from him is consistency. You stay consistent, you will have your day.
Okay. So next up for the city, like who you think like next up? Like anybody next up for the big, like nobody know about yet, like that got that much exposure, or somebody that you got your eyes on that's next up?
I mean, we got a lot of young guys, man. Just the other night, I fought on the card with a bunch of young guys. Kadeem Hunter, that's Outlaw Hunter's son. I got a kid named Jabril Noble. We got a light heavyweight named Atif Overton. We got Johnny Rivera. It's a bunch of them, man. You got a whole bunch of kids.
When you're training these guys, do you have like a set style? Like, are you one way, or do you have to cater to their temperaments?
It's not really so much catering to them, but you have to understand it. Like, you got to understand their temperaments, but you don't have to cater to it, because I need you to do what I need you to do. You know what I mean? I can play into your game a little bit, but ultimately I got to get you to do what I need you to do. Because I'm the eyes outside. So I need you to, you know what I mean, understand what we got to do in order to win. You know what I mean? To get the win.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. So just to touch on the Dev and Ryan rematch and like the last Saudi card. How you feel about that last Saudi card, man? I think I ain't really like it too much. You seen Ryan got the loss, but do you want to see that Dev and Ryan rematch, being as though how both of the outcome came?
To be totally honest, I'm not really interested in it right now, because what I saw on that card was everybody was overlooking their opponents, and they went out there and gave half-ass performances. When we watch boxing to see people get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying go out there and be dumb and get caught with a shot, but I'm saying show me something. Show me why I should be watching you. Show me why I should purchase your next fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's what we didn't get. We didn't get the hunger. I ain't see the hunger.
Then speaking of Devin, Ryan, and them, Rolly had just said that he feels like the fighters, because Turkey's here, he feels like the fighters are getting like overpaid, and they're just getting too comfortable. They don't feel like they got to put forth as much effort. Do you think that was something that played in this and went into play as well, or do you think they just really was just overlooking their opponents?
That definitely plays a part, but I don't think it was so much that. I think it was the fact that they was trying to make it to the next fight because they knew it would be more money. You know what I mean? So it was like they was just trying to play it safe just so we can get to the next fight.
I got another thing for Boots. Why you think everybody overlook Boots? Why you think everybody just feel like Boots doesn't do enough, or he just not? You see Brian Norman Jr. talking, then you got T.O. They speaking of T.O. Why you just think Boots? People just overlook Boots so much.
I mean, it's simple if you think about it. If you look at every great talent, they always move the goalposts for the great talent. You know what I'm saying? When Deion Sanders was doing what he was doing, they was calling him a fluke. Oh, he just fast. He this and that. There's no way he could play baseball and football at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They did it to Bo Jackson. They did it to Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? That's just what they do to the great players and great athletes. So with a Boots Ennis, they're not going to give him his credit simply just because they can see how good he is. So it's going to take another fighter with the same abilities, or either a higher caliber, just a fighter, and and Boots have to defeat him for people to just give him his respect.
And who out here right now do you think that can
I mean, at this point, you really can't see it. I can't really say, because I know for a fact he isn't giving 100% just yet. I know he ain't giving you everything. Okay. So it's tough to say. Somebody's going to have to bring that out of him.
Okay.
So since there's like a new influx of guys at 147 now, Ryan's at 147 now, Dev's at 147 now, Rolly's at 147 now. They're saying T.O.'s going to 147, but he's like a tweener kind of. Do you think any of them could be a threat to Boots, or no?
Not those smaller guys. Ryan and all of them, no, they fish food.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. So I got just a few more questions. Roach. What about Roach, man? Did we underestimate Roach, or did Tank have a bad night?
I feel like it was underestimating Roach, because people base things now off of fame. They don't really understand what skills are. They don't really understand what hard work is. So when people don't know you, they automatically assume that you can't fight, or you a nobody. But if you know boxing, you know Lamont Roach been around for a long time, and he been in there with some great fighters, sparring and fighting. So, people just was overlooking Lamont.
So that rematch, you want to see that rematch?
Yeah, that's a must-see rematch.
Yeah, I want to get back to you training really quick. When did you start training? And like, was there anybody that gave you game like, yo, you really know what you're doing? You should start training some of these guys.
Yeah, I started training in the winter of 2012. And my old trainer, Kev, he used to always say that. He was like, yo, you're going to be in the game regardless. You're going to be a manager. You're going to be a trainer. You're going to be a commentator. You're going to be something because you love boxing. So he always just said I would be doing something in boxing.
And then how do you go about building their styles?
I mean, you gotta first of all go with their build. You know what I'm saying? What that means is their physical makeup. You might have a guy that's 5'10", but he might have the arm length of a guy that's 6'3". You know what I mean? So you gotta look at all of that. You gotta look at his leg length. You gotta look at where his strips are. You know what I mean? It just really depends on the person. Everybody is built different, so therefore their style gonna be a little bit different. I can't get Roy Jones to fight like Mike Tyson. It don't even look right. You know what I'm saying? But it's based off because of how they built. You know what I mean?
Okay. Turkey. Do you like Turkey? What he doing to the sport of boxing, or you think he's bad for business?
I like Turkey Al-Sheikh because what he's doing is he's creating another avenue for fighters that we might not know. Now, the reason I'm saying that is not because of the big fights. It's because I just saw he had like a Grand Prix card where it was a bunch of 140 pounders on there that nobody knows, 135, 140 pounders, and there was a bunch of them, and he giving them all a shot. You know what I mean? Those guys will one day be in the ring with a world champion or at least a contender. And I think that's how boxing should be. All the guys that put in hard work, they should at least be televised at least once or twice in their career. You know what I mean? So people could see what they're working with.
And then Tevin Farmer, he fought Zepeda twice. I personally thought he won both fights. How did you see that?
I thought the first fight was closer than the second fight. I thought Tev might have won the first fight, and the second fight I thought Zepeda won. So if you ask me, it was split 1-1.
Oh, really? Even he injured his hand. I thought he still pulled it out.
Yeah, the second fight I felt like he let Zepeda do too much. He let him do too much.
So as far as like boxing with you, I know you be on and off.
I mean, that's the thing about me. I don't even know. So whenever I find out, I'll let everybody know.
So you just get the call. You just go on the call.
Yeah, I'm what you call, gentleman, a wreck chaser. That's what I am.
Yeah, I seen you said it and Billy said it, like you basically would just jump and go to a fight. It didn't matter what weight, who it was, where it was, you just jump and go straight to the fight.
Yeah, what people don't understand is I didn't have the people around me who understood what was going on in boxing to move me correctly. At the same time, I had the type of attitude where I'm from the hood. I'm really from the hood. I don't know where we get all these rich guys from. I didn't grow up with my mom and my dad. They both wasn't successful. They was kids. You know what I'm saying? When my mom and dad had me, they was only 15 years old. So I was born to two teenagers, and I'm from the hood. So if you call me to rumble for some money, and I've been rumbling all my life for free, why wouldn't I rumble for some money? It's kind of a fucked up attitude, but at the same time, it's who I am. So, I learned to live with it.
So you were saying like that you fought at 168 a lot, but you really should have been like fighting at like 147. What was it that you couldn't get down to them lower weights? Were you like undisciplined at the time? Like what was it?
Yeah, one reason was it was definitely the discipline. That's definitely the number one reason. And two, what I realized too, also, when I was trying to get fights at 47 and 54, nobody would fight me. You know what I mean? Not because, oh, I'm unbeatable. It's not that, but it was because I'm going to give you a hard time. Nobody's not just going to beat me the fuck up. I'm not that guy. I'm not pulling up to get beat up. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is, in boxing, when guys is paying for a win, meaning coming in from the A side, they looking for something easy. I wasn't the easy guy.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Cool Boy. You know Cool Boy from the city too.
For sure.
For Cool Boy and Oshaki. How do you see that? Would you like to see Cool Boy and Oshaki?
Well, I would love to see that fight. I think they two great talents. I think that fight is worth making. But my thing is, I think Cool Boy is a few steps ahead of Oshaki Foster only because Oshaki Foster has never really seen anything like Cool Boy. Cool Boy has been a top amateur and he's a top professional fighter. So he's not somebody that you could take light.
Y'all got Andy Cruz out there in Philly now. You know, him and Keyshawn, they had their little back and forth. Andy Cruz and beat Keyshawn in the amateurs. I'm pretty sure he said Keyshawn was his son. How do you see that when it finally happens in the pros?
That's a great fight, man. Andy Cruz is a hell of a talent. He done some great things in boxing as an amateur. I think Keyshawn is the more polished professional fighter right now. And to be honest, that's just one of them things you would have to see. Because as far as we know, Andy Cruz got Keyshawn numbered. But that's as an amateur. As a pro, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And I was going to ask you that because I believe Gary Russell, one of the Gary Russell, they beat Hoops in the amateurs, right?
Yeah, Antoine Russell.
I think Keyshawn beats Andy now. I know Andy beat him a few times, but I definitely like to see that. think Keyshawn got Andy now.
Oh yeah, I mean, it might be like that. You know what I mean? Because Keyshawn he got more rounds under his belt and he's developing as a puncher. In the amateurs, the game is about points. You got to score. In the pros, the game is about hurting the motherfucker. And Keyshawn definitely doing great at that. He definitely doing great at hurting these dudes. Right here.
Who are some people you watched when you were growing up as a fighter and wanted to like model your game after?
I was a big James Toney guy. I was big Pernell Whitaker, Shane Mosley. I watched everybody. I watched every fighter, man. Bernard. It was everybody. I watched everybody. Mark Too Sharp Johnson. You know what I mean? I just like boxing. I just love boxing.
And can you give us your boxing Mount Rushmore?
Man, we talking about Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, maybe like Willie Pep, Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Willie Pep, and probably James Toney, because James Toney fought from 160 all the way up to heavyweight, never been stopped.
What about these smaller dudes we got coming up? Abdullah, Carmel, what you think about them? Do you think they're not fully developed and established yet to rate them, or can you speak on them now? Like as far as like Abdullah, as far as Carmel?
I mean, when you speak on them now, you got to speak highly because they doing their job. They beating the guys they supposed to beat. You know what I'm saying? And what you can see is they'll one day be stars or they'll one day be champions at least. You know what I'm saying? And that's as much as I can say though. I can't say right now they'll beat the top echelon at their weight class only because they too young. You know what I mean? They still pups.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Manny Pacquiao is coming back after a 4-year layoff. He's fighting Mario Barrios for the belt at 147. Is this a good look, or is Manny just like kind of in the way because Boots is trying to collect all the belts at 147?
I mean, Manny, listen, man, Manny Pacquiao, he's earned the right to fight. The only thing I don't understand is how does he come right back and get a championship fight? But I do understand it because it's a business, and Manny Pacquiao brings a whole country with him. So whenever Pacquiao want to fight, they're gonna let him do his thing, and I can't be mad. And guess what? Let's say this. Let's say Manny Pacquiao beat Barrios, and he got to fight Boots. Then that's even better for Boots.
That's better for Boots, yeah.
That you actually led me into my next question. What do you think could catapult Boots onto that next level? Like he's already there, but like as far as like pay-per-view and just more stardom.
I think the fight that catapults Boots is the Jamel Charlo fight.
Okay.
That's something new for me.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he might be dropping a gem on us.
Definitely like that. For sure, I like that. I just got one more question for you, man. The Bud and Canelo. How you see that, man?
I know people think I'm crazy, but Bud gonna give Canelo a way better fight than we think.
Man,
for a lot of reasons.
I'm crazy too, man. I say the same shit. I feel the same way.
Yeah, he gonna give him a great fight.
You don't think the weight would affect Bud as far as like punches coming back at him from Canelo?
The weight always gonna play a part, but here's the thing: we talking about men, and we talking about a man who's not naturally a 168 pounder. Canelo wasn't always a 168 pounder. That's the difference. You see how Bivol was able to control Canelo, because he's naturally the bigger guy. In the case of Canelo and Bud, that's not the same thing.
Okay. And then do you think Bud's going about it without the right way as far as not taking like a fight or just, even if it was like a punching bag at 168 just to get acclimated to the weight, or do you think he's going about it the right way, just taking that time, gaining the weight, et cetera, et cetera?
I mean, in the perfect world, yeah, go ahead and take a different fight just to fill out the weight class. Right. That's true. But also, if you think about it, it's the fear of the unknown. Nobody knows what he's going to look like. So that's kind of going to be in the back of everybody's mind. That might be the very thing that helps him in this fight. The fact that nobody knows what he's going to look like.
Oh, who were some other influential people as far as like boxing wise when you were coming up? I know you said I don't know him personally, but I know you said Kevin Carmody. Who else was some influential people?
I mean, just in the whole boxing world. You mean Roy Jones? I always wanted to meet Roy Jones. I got to meet him. My second pro fight. Really great guy. You know what I mean? Cool old head. He always drop a jewel on you. And he really loved boxing. But inside the city, you had overheads like Mitch Allen. You had overheads like Fred Jenkins Sr. You had Mr. Sloan Harrison. You had Mr. Percy Custis named Bus. You had Bozy. You had all these old heads, Brother Nazim. You know what I'm saying? All these old heads that you could learn from, man. And that's what I think was most influential to me. I always watched the old heads.
And is that something you look forward to becoming to these young guys?
Yeah, I think one day I'll be one of those guys, you know what I mean, that the young guys talk about. I'll be one of those old heads that they talk about and they say that they learn from, because I've seen a lot of boxing, and I will continue to see a lot of boxing.
All right, and before we get out of here, man, I got bid with you real quick, man. Why you ain't knock one fuck out? I was tuned in. What happened with it?
That 1 minute, I ain't gonna lie, that 1 minute was blowing me, bro. I was trying, but that 1 minute was crazy.
I thought you was gonna knock go ahead the fuck out, man.
That 1 minute clock was killing me.
All right, man. I definitely appreciate you, man. That's big. I definitely appreciate you showing love towards. You are our first person we got on, man, and for sure, like definitely we gonna have you back when we grow and all that. But I appreciate you, man, for taking your time out and showing
For
love
sure.
to it.
For sure. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep putting in work, bro. It's gonna pay off.
Say no more.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, take us out,
brother.
All right, bet.
Hey, man, if y'all like this drink, make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. We're going to Greg Hackett. Make sure y'all go on, like his shit, share, follow him too. If y'all don't know who he is, once again, 101.